I know you're becoming a star because a lot of people saw me with the headband. They thought I was you. They're like, Kung Fu Kenny? I'm like, no,
Oh,
sorry.
yeah.
Sorry to let you down, bro.
This is Trackside, and I'm Perdita. And that man right there, yes, him, is 20,000 stacks richer. Aaron Brown, fresh off racing that Philly Grand Slam track meet. Look, I'm so glad you're here because I thought you'd be outside somewhere like spending all your coins or something.
No, it's trackside time, man. We had a lot of news this week, so we got a lot to get into. I'm feeling really good. I'm excited. We have a great guest coming on to the show, so I'm super hyped for this episode. The race itself, it was pretty good. I had a solid performance in the 2, not so happy about the 100, but these things happen, and I just love the fact that I got to experience it and go out there and get my feet wet. Got to run 2 races, which is something that we're not used to in the track and field world. So, yeah, I'm ready to talk about it.
All right, and we are going to talk about it. And we have so many things in this show that we will be disagreeing on. Well, just discussing, I should say. I shouldn't say that yet, but it is juicy is what I'm saying. So first, we have a bunch of clutch Canadian performances to talk about. Also, we're going to be talking about that big Athlos news with you-know-who. We're all over that. And 3, Kung Fu Kenny. Yes, you heard that right. You know that name, right? 3-time Grand Slam champion. Aaron's training partner, aka bestie, he stopped by Trackside. I can't wait for you to hear this conversation. But we probably should get into this Philly tea, Aaron Brown, because let me tell you something. The vibes looked really good, but I want to know from you, did it live up to the hype?
Oh man, it's hard to put into words how special it was to be there in person. It felt like being at like Track Disney World. It is so many stars there, so much fan support, and the Grand Slam does a really good job at catering to the athlete experience, and they make you feel like a star. And normally, you run at the Diamond Leagues, you run at the Continental Tours, and the headliners feel really special. They feel like they're hyped up, they're superstars, but the rest of the field kind of feels like an afterthought. But here in Grand Slam, everybody felt like a star, from the drip check to the race experience to the intros to the graphics. Like everybody got a chance to be in the sunlight, which was very refreshing to see, to say the least.
You can tell that everything was considered there. Like, I love how that home stretch and that back stretch was full, because Franklin Field is a massive stadium. The fact that they were able to do that was good. But I saw video of your family and pictures that you posted. They were able to be there, which is rare. Oh, how special and cool was that?
I mean, that's what it's all about, right? You want to pave the way for the next generation, and especially when you have kids, it's very important for them to see their dad go out there and perform. And I'm not going to be a professional athlete forever, so all these years I cherish, and every opportunity I get to bring my family, I definitely take advantage of that. And my wife is a superstar, so she was able to bring up the kids and be in the stands, which was very nice. And Grand Slam was very accommodating. They allowed them in certain areas where I was a little skeptical. I'm like, I don't know if you can come back here, but then, no, it's fine. It's family, So I'm really appreciative of that. But it was a great experience, and I'm glad they got to go and be a part of it.
Really, really cool to see that. Okay, the drip check we all asked for, we all needed, we all wanted. Look at this, a Canadian trio, Marco Arop beside Andre DeGrasse and you. I mean, let's discuss this fit. What was it? Well, I see Allen Iverson there, so I really can tell that you were a huge fan of him. Talk to me, because it look, I love it all.
Yeah. So, the saying, I wanted to be like Mike, right? Like when people were kids, I wanted to be like AI. And I feel like he was like the king of culture back in the day. And everybody saw him growing up, and he was just the coolest guy. He was oozing swag, and it's a drip check. So I'm going to go with the drip king, which was AI. I'm in Philly, so it was an homage to the city. But I also felt like, I am growing my hair, and he was the reason why I got braids when I was younger, and I'm going to eventually braid it when my hair gets long enough again. And he's also the reason why I wear a headband. So a lot of full circle moments for me, being in Philly. And I just felt like I want to pay tribute to a Philly hometown hero. It was between going with Allen Iverson or a Rocky shirt, and I'm like, nah, AI, it just fits too well.
You made the right call. AI all the way. We love Rocky, okay? So that's the one we see you, but you got to go with AI. And let me tell you, that drip check, best dressed. I like it.
Appreciate it.
All right, moving on.
Had to hold it down.
And you did. Listen, we have to talk about some of the biggest storylines in Philly, and one of them has to do with a Canadian. You know exactly where I am going. Marco Arop. Listen, he is the first ever Canadian Grand Slam champion. Once again, he proved why he's one of the best to ever do it at 800 meters. He snagged his third straight Grand Slam win over the 2-lap. He stopped the clock 1:43.38. Last week on the show, we showed you why the 1500-meter men, led by Josh Kerr, have been shaking in their boots, in their spike when it comes to our boy Marco. In the 15 in Philly, Marco unleashed a seismic run. His only wrong move, though, was that he went a little too early, which is how Josh Kerr managed to reel him in and win. But do not be sad. Don't even be mad, because Marco's fourth place finish was a personal best and he won the slam title. Basically, take that, Kerr and co. Aaron, I remember you were pumping Marco's tires ahead of Philly. Did you love it or did you love it?
I loved it. And see, you can call me Nostradamus. Like, I know I'm a homer. I know I was going for the Canadian hometown guy.
You called
but
it.
I saw the writing on the wall. And it's just because Marco is the type of guy where he understands the assignment and he gets better week by week. And if you have him 4 times going this 1500 meters, eventually he's going to figure it out. Just watch what he does in LA. I'm guarantee you that he's not done yet. Knowing Marco and his talent, like you said, he's one of the best 800 meter runners of all time. And it's only a matter of time until he gets it right in the 1500. Those guys should be shaking in their boots. And I love the Grand Slam format where we have 2 runs and you calculate based on points. It adds so much drama, so much intrigue. Who's going to finish where, who's going to win the overall title. And my boy pulled it out. He's always going to dominate that 800. I don't think these guys have what it takes to go with him in there. So all he has to do is just close it out in the 1500 meters. And that's exactly what he did in Philly.
Oh, that time is coming. That time is coming.
So Sydney McLaughlin-Ravroni dropped to the short hurdles group this past weekend in Philly. And against a deeper, faster 100-meter hurdles field, the 400-meter hurdles world record holder finished 5th. Then, in her 100 flat pro debut, she dropped a respectable 11:21 seconds to take second behind 2-time slam winner Akira Nugent. Perdita, I know we had questions about Sydney in this event, but finishing second in this group was a pretty good showing, no?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I have to apologize to Akira Nugent, because last week I didn't even mention her name. And I knew that she was one of the threats and I didn't say it. I talked about Tia Jones. So Akira, because in my head you're a friend of the show, I should have mentioned your name. I'll do better next time, okay? Because she put it down. But back to Sydney. Again, I knew that her 100 meters would be really good. It was the 100-meter hurdles that I was worried about, but that was a second best that she's ever run. I think a 12.7 or 12.71. So hats off to her. I mean, she's really doing what she needs to do. It showed the difference between 100-meter hurdle speed and 400-meter endurance and rhythm. That was a contrast I saw there, but I mean, that woman is doing her thing, seriously. Okay, I feel like we've saved the best storyline for last. And all I need to say, Aaron Brown, is Melissa Jefferson-Wooden. And you know exactly what it is that I am talking about. First, she took down the Olympic champion Gabby Thomas in the 200, stopping the clock in 21:99. By the way, anything under 22 seconds is nice. That was a personal best and the 3rd fastest of this year. And if you doubted that, maybe you're like, I don't believe it. It was fluky. I don't see how. But if you did, you silly goose, the next day she stepped out in the 100 and dropped an utterly disgusting, in the best way, 10.73 seconds. 10.73 seconds on everyone's dome. I know, she is the truth. And there's more. That 10.73, to put it in historical context, the 10th fastest time ever in history. AV, what say you to all of that?
She's cooking. Listen, her name is Melissa Jefferson-Wooden, but the first 2 initials, MJ, you're a special talent if you got that. You got Michael Johnson, Michael Jackson, Michael Jordan. Now we got Melissa Jefferson-Wooden. I'm not going to forget the Wooden. She is a married woman. But, my group is special, and I see it every day in training. I knew she was capable of doing something special. I'll be honest, though. That 21:99 shocked me a little bit. And the way she ran it, she got out ahead of the field. Like, she cleared them and did not tie up at all. She has a tendency, because she's kind of new in the 200 meters, she hasn't been running it as much, to tie up a little bit at the end. Not today. So she went all the way through the line and, personal best, beat the Olympic champion, Gabby Thomas. And once she had that confidence, she's back in her neck of the woods in the 100. And she did what she did. And again, I thought, after seeing that 21:99, maybe a 10.8 low, maybe 10.80-ish around her PR. 1073. I was like, wow, that shocked me. And she's just gonna do crazy things. I'd love to talk to her on this show. We got to get her on sometime.
Listen, she's your training partner. You better get her on our show.
I'm gonna make some calls.
Okay, I like that. I'm gonna hold you to it. Okay, you heard that. She's gonna be on our show. We're putting it out there, and I know she's your training partner, so you have the connection. Yeah, no, she's been cooking, and they are eating everything that she is giving them. They have no choice because this woman is on fire, like you said. Woo, Melissa, we can't wait to have you on, girl. We'll see you soon. And get this, Aaron. Alexis Ohanian's track and field meet, Athlos, is set for a big revamp following their upcoming meet this fall in New York City. In 2026, the one-night women-only track meet will turn to a team-based track and field meet. Notice I said field. Anywho, next year it will be a multiple meet event format. The new league will be star-studded and led by Olympic trio Sha'Carri Richardson, Gabby Thomas, and Tara Davis-Woodall. All three have been added as owner advisors. Now, Aaron, how do you feel about this announcement?
I love it. The only thing that sucks about it is that we have to wait till October to see it. But all these new announcements about new track leagues and track meets, track and field be included, women only, it's all great. More competition for the Diamond League, for the main meets that we've been seeing year after year. It's only going to make everybody else step their game up. It's more opportunities for athletes, and I love to see it. So bring more of them on. More money into the sport is a good thing. It's going to lead to better performances, more participation, more success for athletes to be able to live and earn a career in track and field. And that's what I'm all about. I'm all about the business side of track.
Here's my issue with like all these later meets and all these slams. And maybe because I'm retired, I can talk like this. Because if I was like unretired, to be out there getting my money. But October, like how much do you truly have left in your legs in October? And also, if athletes are running so fast now, right, with these grand slams and all these meets and these doubling ups, how much are you really leaving for the end of the season? I question like the periodization, the peaking at the right time. Plus you have trials, especially if you're American. Like how much of this is just taking the sting and the bite out of your legs?
I mean, it's definitely going to be a lot. I'm not going to lie to you. Someone like a Melissa Jefferson-Wooden or a Gabby Thomas who's going to be in the Grand Slam, training for Worlds, Diamond Leagues, and now Athlos at the end of the season. It will be a lot, and they're going to have to be strategic and pick their spots with where they're going to train hard, where they're going to rest, where they're going to pick it up and take it a little easy. It's definitely going to be difficult, and they're going to have to navigate that. But as a fan, you don't really worry about that. That's the athlete's job. That's the coach's job. And we just have to enjoy the product, and whoever's ready is ready. At least we get to see them on the big stage.
Yeah. So how are your training partners and your coach, Dennis Mitchell in particular, responding to this, right? The fact that there's all these meets, you got to pick, like, how are they planning their schedule?
Yeah. Well, the main thing is still the main thing. I mean, I'm in a Nike sponsor group, and Nike cares about those medals right now. So we all are focused on Tokyo 2025. But having said that, we do realize there's a definite chance to make a quick bag early in the season. And a lot of my teammates have ran in the Grand Slams. Of course, Kenny Bednarek and Melissa Jefferson-Wooden are the mainstays who are racers and are at all four. And they've made a lot of money early in the season, which is something that they haven't been able to do in other seasons past. But yeah, the main thing is still the main thing. We're not at the point where the Grand Slams matter more than the World Championships. So that is still the pinnacle of the season. But at the same time, we want to get there with a little change in our pockets, feeling good going in.
I know you and I share the same agent, at least when I was racing, Ronaldo Nehemiah, great, American herder himself. But he used to always tell me, and I know he said this to you, like, do not chase the purse, Purdy. Like, do not chase the money, do not chase the glory, just execute and practice, do what you're supposed to do, and the money and all that stuff will come. So hopefully these athletes are not just chasing the purse, but it is nice to come away with 20,000 stacks, 100,000 stacks, whatever it is. It is nice. And I know someone who's going to want to talk a lot about this, all right? Kung Fu Kenny Bednarek, and I just can't wait to talk to him about this. We're going to ask him a few questions on this.
Kung Fu Kenny, slam winner 3 times over. My boy, saw you earlier at practice. How you feeling right now?
I'm feeling pretty good. Yeah, we had a pretty chill day today, but came home, relaxed, had an appointment with the physio and all that stuff, so had a pretty tame day.
I've been watching you for years, and I feel like something about you is different this season. Like, you are just on one. I don't know if it's the swag, the confidence, but what do you attribute that to, this new confidence that everyone is seeing from you?
I mean, we have really good training partner out there, and they've been helping me with focusing on my block starts here and there. Aaron in particular, he's been whooping my butt for a few years here and now and then. We got somebody like a Christian Coleman, Kyrie King, and Courtney Lindsay and a bunch of others. And I think this year, a lot of things just started to click. One day, I think my mentality just changed. So I was like, hey, I made the Olympic finals last year, and the results weren't where I wanted them to be, but that says a lot about the type of athlete that I am. So, just woke up one day and said, hey, I know these guys are good starters, but damn it, I'm a good starter. So after that, practice just started getting a lot better and a lot easier, and that just built confidence. And so far, I'm 6 for 6 right now, and that's just been building a lot of confidence. And I think I'm just having a lot more fun, and I'm not adding stress to anything. I think me in the past would always think about, I got to run fast, I got to hit this, got to prove myself. But now I'm just like, hey, as soon as I step on the line, whoever's, there to race me, I'm just focused on competing and getting the win, and then the time will come itself.
Well, for me as your training partner, I've always seen the match racing process, and like you said, your start before in the 100 was a little shaky, you're a little tense or
Yeah.
apprehensive, and just kind of stepped out of the blocks. But now you're really pushing it out. And I know
Yeah,
after last year, with you making the Olympic final in the 100, you're like, okay, I can actually belong with these guys. And now you're more aggressive coming out of the 100. That's what I've seen. So shout
yeah.
out to you for that.
Way more aggressive, and I think that's due to, obviously having addition to Coleman, and you already know what he's been doing to us at practice. So it's kind of like, hey, we better get our shit together. Um, and then obviously, like I said, training with you, Kyrie, getting tips from you guys every now and then has helped me a lot. The biggest difference I could say that me and you both know is that you don't see me hiking up my shoulders anymore.
Yeah.
Everything is nice and fluid from start to finish, and
Yeah.
it's helped out a lot.
Yeah. Well, you were at the Philly Grand Slam with me, of course, this past
Mhm.
weekend, and you've been all three as a racer. But I feel like the feeling that I've been getting from everybody is that Philly was special and stood out from the others. Did you get that same sense? And how
Yeah,
was Philly for you?
for sure. I mean, I'd never been to Philly before. I just know from what, other athletes have told me about the history there, Penn relays and everything else. And, I kept hearing about how the track is a little weird coming off the bend for the 200. So
Yeah.
I had some nightmares about it, but yeah.
Didn't bother you though.
Nah.
You and
Well,
Melissa, you handled that corner.
once we got out there on the first day, I was like, wow, there's so many people here. And then them calling out my name and having the whole stadium kind of roar, I feel like I haven't had that much love in a while. Well, I wouldn't say in a while, but like a stadium filled with, not only track and field fans, but a lot of Kenny fans.
Yeah.
So that was just special to me. The energy was there. The weather was a little bit iffy, but, the people came out and showed out. I just loved every minute of it.
The fact that we haven't seen Tobogo, we haven't seen Noah Lyles, you have not been shy of saying, like, are you boys going to get in on this? So I want to know, if you had to pick your next challenger for the Slam in LA, who are you calling out? Who wants some of this, Kenny?
Well, I know a lot of people are dealing with some things, but I would say the person I've been thinking about is Akane. I mean, I know he's been on a roll as well, but I think that race would be very interesting. More in particular for the 100, though.
Simbine.
Okay. Simbine, all right. How are you feeling about your season now going forward, like in the future? Like, do you feel like more athletes are going to want to get on board? They're seeing how successful it is, and, they're going to want to treat it more importantly and have more importance and train more for Grand Slams versus just peaking for Worlds?
Yeah, I mean, every single Grand Slam has been more successful, and on top of that, we have the prize purse is a lot bigger, and we have a bunch of athletes out there that are not even sponsored. So, why not? Why would you say no to Grand Slam? And I'm hoping that them seeing everybody else having fun out here, and just I would say Grand Slam kind of relieves a little bit of stress because you're making money and you're just more focused on competing. You get into a race, okay, you didn't do good here, but you still have a chance of winning 100 grand, 50K. Last place is what, 10 grand. So
10 grand.
yeah, I mean, this is something that the sport has needed for a very long time, and
Yeah.
I'm just hoping that everybody that's seeing it right now will jump on it next year.
Yeah.
Kenny, I want to ask you something real quick, and I don't know if you've picked up on this, but Noah Lyles was on a podcast with Cam Newton, and he was like, Grand Slam, there's nothing in it for me. Financially, marketing-wise, there's nothing in it for me. I don't know if you've heard those comments. And even if you hadn't, what do you say to someone kind of throwing a little bit of shade at Grand Slam right now because you are speaking so highly of it?
I mean, like I said, he has his reasons on why he doesn't want to show up, but I mean, at the end of the day, we want the sport to grow. So if you want to be a part of that, then you're going to be a part of it. If you want to do something else, then you're going to do that. Like I said, I don't know exactly why he wants to do it. Maybe it's not enough money. But at the end of the day, you know, we have athletes here that actually want to help grow the sport. So that's all I got to say to that.
Yeah, and you got $300K, $300,000. I'm not gonna ask you your business because me and Aaron are good for that, but we'll leave you alone. But maybe we'll get back to it. I want to do a fit check because let me tell you, one of these videos broke the internet. Everyone's like, "Have you seen? Was it Miami? I believe it was Miami, right? Where you rolled up, Kung Fu Kenny arriving in style. Yes, you did. But here's my question to you, Kenny: who are these two guys? Like, who are they? Like, that's my question. Who are they?
They're two guys that we had to find real quick to kind of help choreography the whole thing. They actually live in the area. I exactly forgot what dojo they live in, but yeah, we were just making a bunch of calls to a bunch of dojos out there, like, hey, can you help us? I think initially we were gonna do 6 people, but then after that, I was like, okay, that's a lot to handle last minute, trying to figure out how we're gonna do things. So the best thing we had was the 2 twins, and I mean, they did a really good job with helping us out.
Did they do it for free? Did you have to give them $300K or something? Like, how much you had to pay them for that?
No, I didn't have to give them $300K. But, you know, it wasn't for free. I mean, obviously,
of course,
they came out of their way just to help us, so we did help, you know, pay for little things here and there. But yeah, I was just happy that they were cooperating with us and made it look good.
Yeah, it helped their Instagram. I'm sure it helped their Instagram for sure.
Well, we're going to LA, so you got to do even bigger. You got to go Hollywood, man. So what, are you going to bring out the Karate Kid or what?
I don't know. We're trying to do something big, but I'm not sure exactly what we're gonna do. But that was the thing. It's like, okay, we were talking to MJ. He's like, hey, keep doing your thing, but it's like the thing is, you gotta keep going bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So that's why we were a little tame for Philly. Just wanted to focus on the fit and then, you know, win the race. And LA is like, okay, we gotta go big. So we're trying to figure out what we're gonna do. We got time.
What is missing from your trophy case? What else does Kung Fu Kenny want to do on the track?
Y'all already know it's those gold medals. I've been getting silver after silver after silver, so I need some gold medals, and I'm just trying to win.
Well, I know you're a humble guy. You know, you're from Wisconsin, so you're close to Canada. It kind of reminds me of myself. I think that's why we vibe so much, but we're going to push you a little bit. I want you to talk to the camera, let people know what's coming this season from Kung Fu Kenny. You've been getting silvers. You've been the most consistent sprinter out there, but you won it all this season, right? So, you know,
like I
jazz it up a little bit. Let's hear it.
The message this year is dominate. So anytime, anywhere, I'm trying to. Well, I'm not trying to swear, but I'm trying to win every single race that I, you know, get into. I'm trying to dominate this year, and I'm trying to take it all. That's all I gotta say.
Well, you've been off to a really good start, man. I'm trying to get like you, bro.
Oh, I appreciate it.
Thanks, Kenny.
Yeah, thank you.
I'll see you tomorrow at practice.
All right, I'll see you tomorrow at practice. It was nice chatting with y'all.
He is so chill. And Aaron, I think what I got out of that is you taught him everything he knows or something like that. Iron sharpens iron.
Yeah, I'll never let him forget that. You know, I helped him when he was down, and now he's a star. Don't forget me when you're big. But no, he's a super humble guy. I love Kenny. Training with him has always been great, and it's great to see him have a success. You know, I got to step my game up because he's gone to a whole nother level, and, you know, I'm trying to go with him. But he's definitely got that mindset this season that he wants to dominate, and I love to see it.
It is shout out time, and Aaron, a trio of field athletes have made some noise this week, and we cannot wait to tell you who they are. First up, we head over to Nairobi for the Keep Kano Classic, where Canada's Olympic and world champion hammer throwers, Camryn Rogers and Ethan Katzberg, they didn't disappoint. Katzberg topped a quality men's field with a world lead. After hurling the hammer out to 82.73 meters, his second win in a row on the circuit. Now on the women's side, Rogers notched a season's best 77.93 meters after fouling on her opening throws. She found her range on the 4th attempt, bagging the win. Aaron, I don't know, but I feel like because of these two that we should start petitioning whoever it is that we need to petition to change the name of this sport in this country to field and track. Are you with me or are you with me?
Oh, that's bold. That's bold, especially me being a track guy. I don't know if we could change it, but the way that these two throw, I might have to support and get behind them. You know, I saw them in Paris. They lit it up and they just keep going. They're iconic hammer throwers. We are a hammer throw nation. You know, the way that these people throw, I think you might be onto something. Field and track sounds nice. Maybe hammer and track sounds even better. The Ethan and Camryn, big shout out to you guys. You guys are always holding it down. You inspire me to want to step my game up. Track guys in Canada, we gotta match their energy. The field is just taking over, so we gotta respond. But shout out to them. They're always doing well.
Sounds like we're going to see Aaron Brown pick up a hammer throw one of these days. Okay, next
I don't know about
shout out goes to Anna Hall. Yes, you, Anna Hall. And I'm talking directly to her because, again, in my mind, she also is a friend of the show. This is what she did. The American heptathlete amassed a total of 7,032 points at the famed Botsitz Hypomeet in Austria. That was good enough for second best ever in the heptathlon. She tied, of course, with the great Swede Carolina Klüft, and they are both one spot below the legend that is, of course, Jackie Joyner-Kersee. She had 4 lifetime best performances over the 7 events, and she had this to say after the meet. The last heptathlon I did before this broke my heart, but I feel like this heptathlon healed it.
I love that. That's a great quote. And, Anna Hall is an amazing athlete and an even better person. And I got to be around her a lot. And, she told me about her goals. She's coming off an injury and stuff like that. So she's no stranger to being down and then coming and rising up to the challenge. And she's a spectacular athlete. The way she lit it up in college, running the 400-meter hurdles and the heptathlon to win the NCAA titles. She's a super special athlete. And anytime you're chasing Jackie Joyner-Kersee, you're in special company. So shout out to her. Shout out to her comeback. She's very inspirational, and I love to see it.
And that comeback you're talking about is the fact that she got injured going to Paris. She was like one of the ones to beat, a threat for gold, legitimate threat for gold, was injured weeks before, goes there not at full power, and ends up 5th. That's the one that broke her heart. Again, the one in Austria is the one that sealed it. We love to see it. And you're right. Shout out to Anna Hall, friend of the show. A galaxy of stars will descend on Rome this weekend for the Wanda Diamond League. 11 Olympic champions, highlighted by Kenya's Beatrice Chebet, and 62 global medalists, including veterans Karani James and Marie-Jose Talu Smith, catch an unforgettable night of athletics in the Eternal City this Friday on CBC Gem, starting at 3 p.m. ET. That's it for us. Another episode in the books. Although, before we go, you had the audacity, and I loved it, of getting in Marco Arop's pockets when he won at the Grand Slam, a few of them. So I want to know, what are you spending your $20,000 US on, sir? And you also owe me $1, but that's a whole other conversation.
Well, it's actually $22,000 just to be correct, because the challengers at the Grand Slam get $2,000 just to appear.
Money.
But yes, there's money is money, but as quick as it comes in, as quick as it goes out. The bills are billing. I got tuition for my son coming up for his school. He's about to start in August, so I'm sorry, I don't have $1. You might have to ask Kung Fu Kenny.
You know what? I might ask. And your son, by the way, is 4. He's not necessarily going to university, but it might as well be.
Might as well at this age.
All right, you know what? I'll forget the $1. Okay, that is it for us. As you can tell, we have such a great time bringing you Trackside. We're having fun every single week, and I think we're getting better every week. I'll say that. But again, you can catch us every single Thursday on CBC Sports YouTube channel. 10 a.m. ET, right, AB? 10 a.m. ET?
Yep, 10 a.m.
That's right. We'll see you next time. Ciao.